The door exploded inward. Vincent Vaughn stood there 6 feet of muscle and war-hardened silence. Inside, a drunk shoved his daughter forward like she was nothing. The girl didn't scream, didn't beg. Blood on her lip, dirt on her bare feet, eyes that had stopped hoping. Her father named his price. $3,000 or the girl. Vincent's jaw clenched. He'd seen evil before, but this was different. He looked at her once and said the words that changed everything. Come with me. Subscribe now and watch until the end. Then comment what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story reaches. Now, let's begin. Vincent Vaughn didn't believe in second chances. Not after what he'd seen in the war, not after burying his wife in ground too hard to dig. But debts were debts, and James Hartley owed him $3,000. The shack appeared through the heat shimmer like something already dead. One story, rotten wood, holes in the roof where rain came through. Vincent dismounted, tied his horse, and knocked. Nothing. He knocked harder. The door cracked open. James Hartley stood there swaying whiskey on his breath at 10 in the morning. 50 years old with the face of a man who'd given up decades ago. Vaughn. James wiped his mouth. Didn't expect you. 6 months, James. I gave you 6 months. I know. Just need a little more. No? Vincent's voice cut clean. 3,000. Today. James's eyes darted left, right, anywhere but at Vincent. I ain't got it. I know. Then what do you want from me? What I'm owed? The land ain't worth nothing. You said so yourself last time. It's not. Vincent stepped closer. The smell hit him, old alcohol, older desperation, and something else. Something worse. Who else is in there? James's face changed. Got that look men get when they're about to do something they can't take back. Nobody. Don't lie to me. A sound from inside. Soft. Like someone trying not to exist. Vincent pushed past Abs into the shack. Took 3 seconds for his eyes to adjust to the darkness. Took 1 second to see her. She sat in the corner. Small, thin enough that her collarbones showed through the torn dress. Bare feet pulled up to her chest, dark hair hanging in tangles, maybe 18, maybe younger, hard to tell through the bruises. James? Vincent's voice went quiet, the kind of quiet that meant violence was close. Who is that? My daughter. Vincent turned slowly. Your daughter. Melissa. Her mama ran off when she was little. Melissa. The girl hadn't moved, hadn't looked up, just sat there like furniture. How long has she been living like this? Like what? Don't. Vincent took a step toward James. Don't play stupid. How long? James backed up. I do my best. You think it's easy, raising a girl alone? I think you're drunk before noon and your daughter's got a black eye that's fresh from this morning. Vincent's fists clenched. Get out. This is my house. I said, get out. James stumbled onto the porch. Vincent walked to the corner and crouched down, not too close, not too far. War had taught him how to approach wounded things. Melissa. She looked up. Gray eyes, storm cloud gray. They looked right through him, without fear or hope or anything at all. I'm Vincent Vaughn. Your father owes me money. No response. I'm not going to hurt you. Still nothing. Vincent sat back on his heels. She was watching him now, careful, calculating. Smart eyes and a face that had learned to hide everything. "When's the last time you ate?" Her lips moved. No sound came out. "Yesterday, day before, 3 days." Her voice was barely a whisper. Vincent's jaw tightened. 3 days. He stood and went to the pathetic excuse for a kitchen. Found half a loaf of bread, stale but not moldy. Brought it back and set it on the floor between them. She stared at it. "It's yours. Take it." Her hand shot out fast, grabbed the bread and pulled it back like someone might steal it. Started eating in small, quick bites. Not the bites of someone hungry. The bites of someone who'd had food taken away before. Vincent walked back outside. James was sitting on the porch step, head in his hands. "Here's what's going to happen," Vincent said. "I'm taking her." James's head snapped up. "What? Your daughter? I'm taking her." "The hell you are. You can't feed her, can't protect her, can't do anything but use her as a punching bag." Vincent's voice was steel. "So I'm taking her and we're calling your debt paid?" "She's worth $3,000. "She's not worth anything. She's a human being." Vincent leaned down. "But if it helps your whiskey-soaked brain make peace with it, yeah. 3,000, debt cleared. She comes with me." James stood up fast, too fast, swayed. "You can't just take a man's daughter. Watch me." "I'll tell the sheriff. I'll tell everyone you stole her. Go ahead." Vincent's smile had no warmth in it. "Tell them Vincent Vaughn stole your daughter after you tried to starve her to death. See how that works out for you?" James opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. What if she don't want it to go? Then she can stay. But I'm going to ask her." Vincent turned back to the door. "And if she says yes, you're going to step aside like the coward you are." He went back inside. Melissa had finished the bread, was licking crumbs off her fingers. "Melissa." Vincent crouched down again. "I have a ranch about an hour's ride from here. Big house, food, clean water. I've got a little girl, she's 6, who lost her mama 2 years back. It's quiet there. Safe." She watched him. "Your father says I can take you, says it'll clear his debt." Vincent met her eyes. "But I'm asking you, do you want to come with me or do you want to stay here?" Silence. Then, "What do you want from me?" Straight to it. Vincent respected that. Nothing. Everyone wants something. "You're right. I want you to not die in this shack. That's what I want." He stood. "I'm going outside. I'm going to count to 60. If you walk out that door before I'm done counting, we leave. If you don't, I'll ride away and never come back. Your choice." He walked out. James was pacing. "What did she say?" Vincent ignored him. Started counting. 1, 2, 3. "You can't just 4, 5, 6. James grabbed his arm. "Listen to me." Vincent stopped counting. Looked at James's hand on his arm. Looked up at James's face. Said nothing. James let go fast. 20. Vincent continued. 21. 22. The door opened. Melissa stood in the doorway. Still barefoot, still in the torn dress, but standing, looking at him. "I want to leave," she said. "Melissa." James started toward her. Vincent's hand went to his belt, not to the gun just near it. "Close enough." James stopped. "You got anything you want to bring?" Vincent asked her. She shook her head. "Nothing at all. Nothing worth carrying." Vincent walked to his horse and mounted up. held out his hand. "Then come with me." She walked toward him, slow steps. James was saying something, words tumbling over, words, excuses and curses and threats all mixed together. Melissa didn't look at him, kept her eyes on Vincent's hand. She reached up. Her fingers were cold. Vincent pulled her up behind him in one motion. She was lighter than a girl her age should be. "Hold on," he said, her arms wrapped around his waist. Thin arms, shaken. "You'll regret this," James shouted. "She's mine. I got rights. I'll come get her back. Vincent kicked the horse into motion. James's voice faded behind them. They rode in silence. The sun climbed higher. The desert stretched out forever in all directions, nothing but dust and dead brush and heat that made the air shimmer. Behind him, Melissa held on tight. He could feel her trembling. "You all right back there?" "I don't know. Honest." Vincent liked that. "You've been on a horse before." "No." "You're doing fine." More silence. Then, "Why did you do that?" "Do what?" "Take me. If you don't want anything, if I don't owe you anything, why—" Vincent thought about line, thought about easy answers. But something told him this girl had heard enough lies. "My wife died 2 years ago," he said. "Sarah. Fever took her in 3 days. I watched her die and couldn't do a damn thing to stop it. After I told myself I'd never let someone suffer if I could help it. Maybe I can't help everyone, but I could help you." Melissa was quiet for a long moment. Then, "I'm sorry about your wife." "Don't be sorry. Just be here." "Where?" "Here, alive. That's enough." They rode on. After a while, Melissa's grip loosened, not much, but enough that Vincent knew she wasn't expecting him to throw her off the horse. Small progress. He'd take it. The ranch appeared on the horizon. Melissa's arms tightened again. "That's it," Vincent said. "That's home. It's so big. 500 acres. Took me 10 years to build." He guided the horse down the slope. "See those buildings, stables, barns, bunkhouses for the workers. Main house is the big one in the center. That's where we'll be. You, me, and Ella, my daughter. What if she doesn't like me? She's scared of everyone these days. Lost her mama, thinks everyone else is going to disappear too." Vincent glanced back. "But she needs to see that people can stay, that good things don't always vanish." They entered the ranch yard. 3 men looked up from their work, Marcus, Pete, and young Tommy, barely 20. All 3 stared. "Boss," Marcus called. "Didn't know you were bringing company." Vincent, dismounted, helped Melissa down. Her legs shook and she grabbed the horse's saddle to steady herself. "This is Melissa," Vincent said. His voice carried across the yard. "She'll be staying here. Anyone got questions?" The men exchanged looks. "No questions, boss," Marcus said carefully. "Good. Marcus, have someone prepare the blue room upstairs. Clean sheets, fresh water, and find some clothes that'll fit her check, Sarah's old things. Pete, I want everyone gathered here in 10 minutes. Everyone, including the boys from the north pasture." "Sir, you heard me. 10 minutes." The men scattered. Vincent turned to Melissa. "Can you stand?" "I think so." "Kitchen's inside. Go eat something. I'll be in shortly." She looked at the house, then back at him. What if they won't. But if anyone makes you uncomfortable, you come find me immediately." He met her eyes. "This is your home now, Melissa. You're safe here." She nodded once and walked toward the house. moving careful like the ground might open up and swallow her. Vincent watched until she was inside. Then Marcus was beside him, voice low. "Boss, what are you doing?" "What's right?" "You know how this looks." "I know exactly how it looks. That's why I'm gathering everyone." Vincent started toward the barn. "I'm going to make something very clear, very fast." 10 minutes later, all 12 ranch hands stood in a half circle. Young Tommy fidgeted. Old Pete crossed his arms. Marcus watched Vincent with concerned eyes. Vincent stood in front of them, arms loose at his sides. "Most of you know I rode out this morning to collect a debt from James Hartley. Some of you know Hartley's got a daughter. What you don't know is that Hartley tried to give me that girl as payment." Murmurs rippled through the group. "I brought her here because leaving her in that shack was leaving her to die. She's 18 years old. She's got no family worth mentioning, no money, nowhere to go. So she's here now." Tommy raised his hand. "Boss, is she your—" "No." Vincent's voice cracked like a whip. "She's not my anything. She's not a servant. She's not property. She's a girl who got dealt a bad hand and is trying to survive it. Anyone who treats her as less than that answers to me." Silence. "Now I know how people talk. I know rumors spread faster than wildfire, so I'm telling you straight, Melissa is under my protection. That means if anyone lays a hand on her, looks at her wrong, or says something crude when they think I can't hear they're done here, no second chances, no warnings, just gone." "What if she causes trouble?" Pete asked. "Then I'll handle it. But I've seen trouble, and that girl upstairs isn't it. She's scared and hungry and has probably never had a kind word in her life. You want to be the man who makes that worse." Pete shook his head slowly. "Anyone else?" Vincent looked at each face. "No. Good. Get back to work." The men dispersed, talking in low voices. Marcus lingered. "You sure about this, Vaughn?" "No, but I'm doing it anyway. People are going to assume, let them. I know the truth. She knows the truth. And now all of you know the truth. Anyone who chooses to believe different is an idiot. There's a lot of idiots in Dust Hollow. Then I'll deal with them too." Vincent headed toward the house. "Right now, I've got a daughter who's probably hiding under her bed, and a girl who thinks every door is a trap. Tomorrow's problems can wait." Inside the house was quiet. Too quiet. Vincent found Melissa in the kitchen standing by the table. She hadn't touched any food. "I told you to eat." "I wasn't sure what I was allowed to take." Vincent walked to the pantry, pulled out bread, cheese, dried beef apples, set them all on the table. "All of it, any of it, whatever you want." She sat down slow, reached for an apple, bit into it like it might be her last. "Where's your daughter?" "Probably upstairs. She hides when strangers come." Vincent poured 2 glasses of water. "Give her time. She'll come out eventually." "What should I do?" "Eat, rest, breathe." He sat down across from her. "Tomorrow we'll figure out close a routine, what you want to do with your time. Tonight you just exist. That's all I'm asking." Melissa ate the apple down to the core, started on the bread. Vincent watched her, not staring, just observing. She had manners. Someone had taught her how to eat properly, how to sit, how to speak. Made it worse somehow. Smart girl, educated girl, trapped in hell. "Can I ask you something?" Melissa said. "Anything." "What if my father comes back? He won't?" But what if he does? Vincent leaned forward. Then he'll learn what happens when you mess with what's mine. I thought you said I wasn't yours. You're not, but you're under my protection, and that means something. He stood. Come on, I'll show you your room. Upstairs, the blue room waited. Clean bed, clean sheets, window overlooking the fields. Vincent opened the door and stepped aside. Melissa walked in slow, touched the bed like it might disappear. This is mine. All yours. Bathroom's across the hall. There's a lock on the door if you want it. Vincent stayed in the doorway. And Melissa, if you hear something in the night, if you get scared, if you need anything, my room's down the hall. Third door on the right. You knock, I answer. No questions asked. Thank you, her voice cracked. I don't know how to repay. You don't? That's the point. He turned to go, then stopped. One more thing. Tomorrow morning, everyone's going to stare. They're going to whisper. Let them. Words only hurt if you give them power. What if they're right? What if I don't belong here? Then you'll figure out where you do belong. But you're here now, and that's enough. Vincent met her eyes. Get some rest. Tomorrow starts early on a ranch. He closed the door, stood in the hallway for a moment listening. No sound from inside. He walked to Ella's room and knocked soft. Ella, sweetheart, can I come in? Silence. Vincent opened the door. Ella sat on her bed knees, pulled up blonde hair in tangles. 6 years old with eyes that had seen too much grief. Hey, baby girl. Who is she? Her name's Melissa. She's going to be staying with us for a while. Why? Because she needs somewhere safe to be, just like you do. Ella's chin trembled. Is she going to die like Mama? Vincent sat on the bed and pulled his daughter close. I don't know, baby. Nobody knows when they're going to die, but I promise I'll do everything I can to keep both of you safe. What if she leaves? She might. People do that sometimes. What if you leave? Never. Vincent kissed the top of her head. I'm not going anywhere, Ella. I promise. Ella was quiet for a long moment. Then, is she nice? I think so. But you'll have to decide for yourself. Okay. Okay. Vincent stood. Bedtime. We've got a big day tomorrow. He tucked Ella in, kissed her forehead, and left the door cracked open the way she liked it. Then he walked downstairs to the study and poured himself 2 fingers of whiskey, sat in Sarah's chair, and stared at nothing. What had he done? Brought a broken girl into a broken house and expected... What? That they'd fix each other. That good intentions were enough. Tomorrow, James might show up with the sheriff. Tomorrow, the whole town might turn against him. Tomorrow, Melissa might run. But tonight, a girl who'd been sleeping in a corner was sleeping in a bed. A girl who'd been starving had food in her stomach. A girl who'd been alone had a locked door between her and the world. It wasn't much, but it was something. Vincent finished his whiskey and headed upstairs. Paused outside Melissa's door. No sound from inside. Either she was asleep or lying awake staring at the ceiling waiting for the trap to spring. Time would tell. He went to his room, lay down in his clothes, and stared at the darkness. Somewhere in the house, 2 broken girls slept. Tomorrow, they'd start the hard work of healing. Tomorrow, they'd face whatever came. But tonight, for the first time in a long time, Vincent Vaughn felt like maybe, just maybe, he'd done one good thing in a life full of regret. The darkness took him. And tomorrow waited. Morning came hard and bright. Melissa woke to sunlight she wasn't used to, clean light not filtered through holes in a rotten roof. For 3 seconds she didn't remember where she was. Then it all came back. The shack. Vincent. The horse ride. This room. She sat up fast, heart hammering, listened. Footsteps downstairs, voices. Male voices. Her hands shook as she stood. The dress from yesterday was filthy, but it was all she had. She pulled it on and crept to the door, pressed her ear against the wood. "Don't like it, boss. Town's already talking." "Let them talk." Vincent's voice, calm, steel underneath. "They're saying you bought her, saying worse than that. I know what they're saying, Marcus. Doesn't make it true. Truth doesn't matter when people want to believe a lie." Melissa's stomach twisted. She'd known this would happen. Known the moment she got on that horse that people would assume the worst. Rich man, poor girl. The math was simple and ugly. "Marcus," Vincent's voice dropped lower. "I didn't ask for your opinion on what people think. I asked you to make sure the north fence gets fixed today." "Yes, sir." Footsteps, a door closing, silence. Melissa waited another minute, then opened her door and crept downstairs. The kitchen was empty except for Vincent standing at the stove with his back to her, cooking something that smelled like heaven. "You don't have to hide in doorways," he said without turning around. "You live here now." "I didn't want to interrupt." "You heard that conversation." Not a question. Melissa stepped into the kitchen. "Yes." Vincent turned spatula in hand. "What Marcus said about the town talking, it's true. People are going to assume things, ugly things. I can't stop that." "I know. But what I can do is make sure everyone in this house knows the truth. And the truth is, you're here because you deserve a place to be. Not because of any debt, not because I own you, not because of anything except basic human decency." He pointed the spatula at the table. "Sit, eat. We've got a long day ahead." Melissa sat. Vincent put a plate in front of her, eggs, bacon, toast. More food than she'd seen in weeks. Her hands trembled as she picked up the fork. "Where's Ella?" "Still sleeping. She's not an early riser." Vincent poured coffee into 2 cups, set one in front of Melissa. "How'd you sleep?" "I kept waiting for someone to come through the door." "Did they know?" "Then you were safe, just like I said." He sat across from her. "Today's going to be hard. The ranch hands are going to stare. Some of them are going to say things they think I can't hear. You ignore them. And if I can't, then you tell me and I'll handle it." Vincent drank his coffee black. "But here's the thing, Melissa. You're stronger than you think. You survived 18 years with a man who should have been drowned at birth. You survived yesterday. You'll survive today. What if my father comes back? He won't. Men like James are cowards. He'll drink himself stupid, tell everyone who'll listen that I stole you, and eventually drink himself to death. The world will be better for it." Melissa ate slow. The eggs were perfect. The bacon crispy. The toast had real butter. She wanted to cry. "After breakfast," Vincent said, "I'll have someone bring you some of Sarah's old clothes. My wife. They should fit well enough until we can get you something proper." "I can't take your wife's clothes." "She's dead, Melissa. She doesn't need them." His voice wasn't cruel, just factual. And she would have wanted someone to use them. Sarah wasn't one for waste. Footsteps on the stairs. Ella appeared in the doorway, small and blonde and cautious. She looked at Melissa, then at her father. "Mornin', sweetheart. Vincent said. "Come have breakfast." Ella didn't move. Melissa set down her fork and turned in her chair, making herself smaller, less threatening. "Hi, Ella. I'm still Melissa. We met yesterday, remember?" Ella nodded once. "Your daddy made eggs. They're really good. Do you like eggs?" Another nod. "Then come sit with us. I promise I won't bite." Melissa smiled, soft. "I'm not very scary. I'm actually kind of scared myself." "Why?" Ella's voice was tiny. "Because everything's new. New house, new people, new everything. It's a lot." Melissa glanced at Vincent. "But your daddy says I'll be okay, and I believe him." Ella took 3 careful steps into the kitchen. Vincent pulled out a chair next to him, and she climbed up. He put a plate in front of her, and she started eating without a word. They ate in silence for a while. Then Ella looked at Melissa and asked, "Are you my new mama?" The question hit like a fist. Melissa's throat closed. She looked at Vincent, panic in her eyes. "No, baby," Vincent said gently. "Melissa's not your new mama. Nobody's going to replace Mama. Melissa's just... she's family. Like an aunt, maybe. Or a big sister." "Oh." Ella pushed eggs around her plate. "Okay." "Is that okay with you?" Melissa asked. Ella thought about it. "I guess. You can always change your mind. If you don't want me here, I'll understand. Where would you go? Good question." Melissa didn't have an answer. "She's not going anywhere," Vincent said firmly. "This is her home now. Just like it's your home, just like it's my home. We're all here together." Ella nodded and went back to eating. Crisis averted. For now. After breakfast, Vincent disappeared outside. Ella retreated upstairs. Melissa stood in the kitchen staring at the dirty dishes and started washing them. It felt good to have something to do, something normal. A knock at the door. Melissa froze. "It's just Marcus," a voice called. "Boss said to bring you some clothes." Melissa dried her hands and opened the door. Marcus stood there holding a folded stack of fabric dresses, shirts, pants. He was older than Vincent Gray at the temples, weathered like old leather. "Ma'am," he nodded. "These were Miss Sarah's. Boss thought they might fit." "Thank you." Marcus didn't leave. Stood there holding the clothes, looking uncomfortable. "Was there something else?" Melissa asked. He shifted weight. "Just wanted to say I'm sorry about what I said this morning, about the town talking. Wasn't my place." "You were telling the truth." "Maybe, but truth can be cruel." He handed her the clothes. "Boss is a good man. Best man I've ever worked for. He says you're here because you need to be, then that's good enough for me." "Thank you, Marcus." He tipped his hat and left. Melissa carried the clothes upstairs and tried on the first dress. It fit. A little loose in the waist, a little tight in the shoulders, but it fit. She looked at herself in the small mirror hanging on the wall, first time she'd really seen herself in months. She looked thin, pale, bruises fading to yellow on her arms, but clean. In a real dress with real fabric and no holes. She looked almost human. A knock on her door. "Melissa," Ella's voice. "Come in." The door cracked open. Ella peeked inside, then stepped through. "You look pretty." "Thank you." "That was Mama's dress, the blue one." "I know. Is it okay that I'm wearing it?" Ella walked closer, studying the fabric. "Mama would have liked you. She liked people who were nice." "I'll try to be nice." "You already are." Ella touched the hem of the dress. "Will you braid my hair? Papa doesn't know how." "I can try." They sat on the bed, Melissa behind Ella in front. Melissa's fingers moved through the blonde tangles, gentle, patient. She'd braided her own hair for years. This wasn't so different. "Why did you live with a mean daddy?" Ella asked. Melissa's hands paused. "Because I didn't have anywhere else to go." "That's sad." "Yes, it was." "Do you like it here?" "I don't know yet, but it's better than where I was." "Good." Ella sat very still. "I'm glad you're here. The house is too quiet with just me and Papa." "You don't have friends?" "Not really. Papa says other kids are mean sometimes. Says I should wait until I'm older." Melissa finished the braid and tied it with a ribbon she found on the dresser. "There, all done." Ella jumped up and looked in the mirror, smiled a real smile. "It's perfect." Footsteps in the hall. Vincent appeared in the doorway. "What's going on in here?" "Melissa braided my hair." Ella spun around. "Look, Papa." Vincent's face softened. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." His eyes met Melissa's. "Thank you." "It's nothing." "It's not nothing." He leaned against the doorframe. "Ella, why don't you go play in your room for a bit? I need to talk to Melissa." Ella skipped out. Vincent stepped inside and closed the door halfway proper, respectful. "We need to talk about expectations," he said. Melissa's stomach dropped. Here it was, the catch. "I don't expect you to be Ella's mother. I don't expect you to cook or clean or do anything you don't want to do." Vincent crossed his arms. "But if you're going to live here, you need to understand how this ranch works. We all pull our weight. The men work the cattle and the land. I handle the business side. Ella's learning her letters and numbers. Everyone contributes." "What do you want me to do?" "What do you want to do?" Melissa blinked. "I don't understand." "It's a simple question. What do you want to do with your days?" "You want to help with Ella, fine. You want to learn ranching, fine. You want to spend time reading books in the library, also fine. But I need to know what you're thinking." "I've never been asked what I want before." "Well, I'm asking now." Melissa looked down at her hands. They were shaking again. "I want to be useful. I want to earn my place here." "You don't have to earn anything." "Yes, I do." She met his eyes. "You saved me. You brought me here. The least I can do is help." Vincent sighed. "All right, if that's what you want. But we do it your way, at your pace. You feel overwhelmed, you tell me. You need a break, you take one. Deal. Deal." "Good. Now come on. I want to show you the ranch." They walked outside together. The sun was high and hot. Men worked in the distance, moving cattle, repairing fences, hauling water. A few looked up when they saw Melissa. Most looked away fast. "That's the main barn," Vincent said, pointing. "Horses, equipment, storage. Over there's the cattle barn. North pasture, south pasture, east field for crops. We've got about 100 head of cattle, 20 horses, and more trouble than all of them combined. It's big. It's home." Vincent walked toward the barn. "Come on. Want to meet the horses?" Inside the barn smelled like hay and leather and animal warmth. 6 horses stood in stalls watching them with dark eyes. Vincent stopped at the 3rd stall. "This is Smoke. She's gentle, good with beginners." He stroked the mare's nose. "You ever ride before yesterday?" "No." "Want to learn?" "I don't know." "That's fine. No pressure." Vincent moved to the next stall. "This big bastard is Thunder. He's mine. Mean as hell to everyone except me and Ella." Thunder snorted and shook his head. "Why do you keep a mean horse?" Melissa asked. Because sometimes you need mean. Sometimes gentle isn't enough. Vincent looked at her. Same with people. They walked through the rest of the barn. Vincent introduced her to ranch hands as they passed Pete Tommy, a few others, whose names Melissa forgot immediately. They all nodded politely. Some smiled. Some didn't. Don't mind them, Vincent said. They'll warm up. Or they won't. Then they won't. Not everyone has to like you, Melissa. As long as they respect you, that's enough. They were heading back to the house when a horse appeared on the horizon, moving fast. Vincent stopped walking. Stay behind me. Why, what's wrong? Just stay behind me. The rider got closer. Melissa saw the badge, first silver star catching the sunlight. Then the face. Sheriff Morrison. 50 years old, fat around the middle eyes like a rat looking for cheese. Vaughn, Morrison, pulled his horse to a stop. Need to talk to you. So talk. Morrison's eyes slid to Melissa. Maybe in private. Anything you need to say you can say in front of her. All right, then. Morrison dismounted. Got a complaint this morning. James Hartley says you stole his daughter. Vincent didn't move. Is that so? Says you rode to his place yesterday, threatened him, and took the girl by force. Interesting story. Vincent's voice was flat. Want to hear mine? I'm listening. James Hartley owed me $3,000. I went to collect. He offered me his daughter as payment like she was livestock. I refused. Then I asked the girl if she wanted to stay in that shack or come with me. She chose to come. No force, no threats, just a choice. Morrison looked at Melissa. That true girl? Yes, sir. He threatened your father? No, sir. He just told him the truth that leaving me there would kill me. And you wanted to leave more than anything. Morrison scratched his belly. Hartley says different. Says you took her against her will. Hartley's a liar and a drunk, Vincent said. But if you don't believe me, believe her. She's standing right here. Ask her yourself. Already did, Morrison sighed. Look, Vaughn, I don't care what you do on your ranch, but people are talking, saying things that aren't good for anyone. Let them talk. Folks are saying you bought her, that she's your... He glanced at Melissa. That she's your property. Then folks are idiots. Vincent stepped closer. Melissa is under my protection. She lives here because she has nowhere else to go. If people want to make that into something ugly, that's their failing, not mine. I'm just saying might be easier if what if I threw her back to her father if I pretended I didn't see a girl being starved and beaten. Vincent's voice went cold. I fought a war to end slavery, Morrison. I'm not about to start practicing it in my own home. Morrison held up his hands. Easy now. Just doing my job. Had to ask. You asked. Now get off my property. Vaughn. I said get off my property or I'll throw you off. Morrison climbed back on his horse. Looked down at Melissa one more time. Girl, if you're here against your will, you tell me now. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. I'm here because I want to be, Melissa said. Her voice was steady. Mr. Vaughn saved my life, and I'm not going back. Morrison nodded slowly. All right, then. That's all I needed to hear. He kicked his horse into motion and rode away. Vincent watched until he was gone. Then he turned to Melissa. You all right? I think so. That won't be the last time someone questions this. Questions you. questions me. You need to be ready for that. I know, but you handled it well, spoke clear, spoke true. That's all you can do. Vincent started walking again. Come on, let's get inside before anyone else shows up. But someone was already there, standing on the porch, hands on hips, a woman, maybe 40, curly red hair, face like a hawk. She watched them approach with sharp eyes. Vincent Vaughn, she said. Care to explain what in God's name you think you're doing? Vincent sighed. Hello, Catherine. Don't you hello, Catherine me. The whole town's buzzing like a kicked hornet's nest. They're saying you bought James Hartley's daughter. They're wrong. Then tell me what actually happened. Vincent told her. All of it. Catherine listened without interrupting, hands still on her hips, eyes moving between Vincent and Melissa. When he finished, Catherine was quiet for a long moment. Then she stepped forward and looked Melissa up and down. How old are you, girl? 18, ma'am. You look younger. I know. Did he threaten you, force you, touch you in any way that wasn't proper? No, ma'am. He's been nothing but kind. Catherine studied her face. You're scared. Yes, ma'am. Of him, of everything. Catherine's expression softened just a fraction. She turned to Vincent. You realize what people are going to say. I don't care what people say. You should, because those people are your customers, your neighbors, your community, and they're saying ugly things, Vincent. They're saying you're keeping her as a... She glanced at Melissa. As something she's not. Then they're idiots. Probably, but they're loud idiots. Catherine sighed. Look, I came here to tell you you're a fool. But now that I'm here, now that I've seen her... She looked at Melissa again. You did the right thing. Stupid, maybe, but right. Thank you for the glowing endorsement. Don't get smart with me, Vincent Vaughn. I've known you since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. Catherine stepped closer to Melissa. What's your name, child? Melissa Hartley, ma'am. Well, Melissa Hartley, my name is Catherine Pierce. I run the general store in Dust Hollow, and I've been friends with this fool since before his voice dropped. If you ever need anything, and I mean anything, you come find me. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Good. Catherine turned back to Vincent. Bring her to town next week. Let people see her, talk to her, realize she's a human being and not some scandal. The longer you keep her hidden out here, the worse the rumors get. I'm not hiding her. Then prove it. Catherine headed for her horse. And Vincent, if you hurt this girl, if you betray the trust she's putting in you, I'll shoot you myself. Noted. Catherine rode away. Vincent and Melissa stood in the yard watching her disappear. Who was that? Melissa asked. Catherine Pierce. She's been like an aunt to me since my parents died. Speaks her mind, doesn't pull punches, and makes the best apple pie in Arizona. Vincent headed for the house. She's right, though, about bringing you to town. People need to see that you're here by choice. I don't want to go to town. I know, but hiding never solved anything. He opened the door. We'll go next week. Give you time to adjust, get your strength back. Then we'll face them together. Inside, Ella was waiting. She grabbed Melissa's hand. Will you read to me? Papa's not good at voices. Melissa looked at Vincent. He nodded. Go ahead. I've got work to do. So Melissa let Ella pull her to the library, a small room lined with books Vincent's wife had collected. They sat on the floor, and Ella picked a story about a princess and a dragon. Melissa read slowly, doing different voices for each character. Ella laughed. It was the best sound Melissa had heard in years. That night, dinner was quiet. Vincent cooked again stew, this time thick and hearty. They ate together, the three of them, like a family. After Melissa washed dishes, while Vincent put Ella to bed, she heard him upstairs reading another story, his deep voice gentle. When he came back down, he found Melissa still in the kitchen staring out the window at the darkness. "Penny, for your thoughts," he said. "I was thinking about tomorrow. What about it? Whether I'll wake up and this will all be a dream, whether I'll be back in that shack." Vincent poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed her one. "It's not a dream, and you're never going back there. You can't promise that. Watch me." He drank. "Your father's a coward, Melissa. He won't come here, and if he does, he'll regret it." "I'm scared. I know. Fear's a hard habit to break." Vincent set down his glass. "But every day you wake up here in this house safe and fed, that's proof. Proof that you're not his anymore. Proof that you're free. I don't feel free. You will, eventually." He looked at her. "Get some sleep. Tomorrow's another day." Melissa went upstairs, lay in the clean bed under clean sheets, listened to the house settle around her. Footsteps in the hall, Vincent checking doors, making sure windows were locked, protecting them. She closed her eyes and tried to believe it was real, tried to believe that she was finally safe. But deep in her chest, a voice whispered that good things never lasted, that men like her father always found a way to ruin everything, that Vincent would realize she wasn't worth the trouble and send her away. Sleep came slow and restless, and in the darkness, the past waited. 3 weeks passed like water through fingers. Melissa woke each morning expecting the dream to end, but it never did. The clean bed stayed clean. The food kept coming. Vincent kept his distance, and Ella kept getting closer. The ranch hands stopped staring, most of them anyway. Tommy was different. 20 years old with mean eyes and a mouth that ran when he thought no one was listening. Melissa heard him one afternoon when she was walking past the barn. "Boss is getting soft, keeping that girl like a pet." "Shut up, Tommy," Pete's voice. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I know what I see. Pretty girl shows up, moves into the big house, doesn't do a lick of real work. You do the math." Melissa's hands clenched. She kept walking, face-hot eyes burning. That night at dinner, she was quiet. Vincent noticed. "Something wrong. No." "Melissa." She set down her fork. "The ranch hands are talking, saying things." "What kind of things?" "That I don't work, that I'm useless, that I'm just—" She glanced at Ella. "That I'm here for the wrong reasons." Vincent's jaw tightened. "Who said this?" "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me." "Who?" "Tommy." Vincent stood up. "Excuse me." He walked out the door before Melissa could stop him. She heard his boots on the porch, heard him shouting for Tommy. Ella looked scared. "It's okay," Melissa said, though her heart was hammering. "Your papa's just talking to someone." "He's mad?" "Yes, but not at us." They heard voices outside, raised voices, then silence, then boots coming back. Vincent walked in, breathing hard. His knuckles were red. "What did you do?" Melissa asked. "Fired him." "What?" "Tommy doesn't work here anymore. He's got until morning to pack his things and get off my land." Vincent sat down. "Anyone who disrespects you disrespects me. I meant what I said that first day." "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." Vincent's eyes were hard. "This is your home, Melissa. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove anything, and you sure as hell don't have to listen to some punk kid question your worth. Ella reached across the table and took Melissa's hand. Tommy was mean anyway. He kicked a dog once. See, Vincent's voice softened. Even Ella knows he's trash. But later, after Ella was in bed, Melissa found Vincent on the porch. He was smoking something she'd never seen him do. I'm causing problems, she said. No, you're not. I am. Tommy's gone because of me. The town's talking because of me. Your reputation. My reputation is my problem, not yours. Vincent took a long drag. You know what Sarah used to say. She said reputation is what people think you are. Character is what you actually are. I know my character, I know yours. The rest is noise. But what if the noise gets too loud? Then we'll deal with it. He stubbed out the cigarette. Stop trying to make yourself small, Melissa. Stop trying to disappear. You're here. You're real. You matter. I don't know how to believe that. Then I'll believe it for both of us until you catch up. And the next morning, Melissa made a decision. She found Marcus in the barn. I want to learn, she said. Learn what? Everything. How to work a ranch, how to ride, how to be useful. She crossed her arms. I'm tired of people saying I don't do anything. So teach me. Marcus studied her face. Boss know about this. I'm telling him next, but I'm asking you first. Will you teach me? He thought about it, then nodded. All right, but it's hard work, dirty work. You're going to get thrown, stepped on, and probably bitten at least once. Good. They started that afternoon. Marcus brought out Smoke, the gentle mare Vincent had showed her weeks ago. Melissa's hands shook as she approached. Easy, Marcus said. Horse can smell fear, makes them nervous. I'm not afraid. Liar. But he smiled. That's okay. Brave ain't the same as fearless. Brave is being scared and doing it anyway. He taught her how to approach, how to touch, how to saddle and bridle. Melissa's fingers fumbled with the leather, but she kept trying. When Smoke was ready, Marcus helped her mount. The ground looked very far away. Hold the reins like this, heels down, back straight. Good. Now just sit there and get used to the height. Melissa sat. Smoke shifted, and Melissa's heart jumped into her throat. But the mare didn't bolt, just stood there, patient. Now we're going to walk, nice and slow. Just squeeze with your legs, gentle. They walked around the corral, slow circles. Melissa gripped the saddle horn so hard her knuckles went white, but she stayed on. After 10 minutes, Marcus called it. That's enough for today. But I barely did anything. You stayed on. That's something. He helped her dismount. Tomorrow we'll do more. But learning takes time. Can't rush it. Melissa nodded. Her legs felt like jelly, but inside something fierce and bright was burning. She'd done it. She'd gotten on a horse and not fallen off. It was a start. That night she told Vincent what she'd done. He listened without interrupting. You want to learn ranching, he said when she finished. Yes. Why? Because I'm tired of feeling useless. Because I want to pull my weight. Because... She took a breath. Because I want to prove I belong here. You already belong here. Then I want to prove it to myself. Vincent was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. All right, but you do it safe. You listen to Marcus, and if it gets to be too much, you stop. Deal. Deal. Over the next 2 weeks, Melissa threw herself into learning. Marcus taught her to ride properly. Pete taught her about cattle. Old Sam, the ranch cook, taught her which plants were edible and which would kill you. She worked from dawn until dusk, coming back to the house with dirt under her nails and exhaustion in her bones. Ella didn't understand at first. "Why are you always gone now?" "I'm learning," Melissa said, "so I can help your papa. But I need you too." "I know, and I'm still here. Every night, right?" Melissa sat on Ella's bed. "But during the day I have to work, just like your papa works. Okay?" Ella's face crumpled. "Mama used to be here all the time. Then she died. Now you're always gone too." The words hit like stones. Melissa pulled Ella close. "I'm not going anywhere. I promise. I'm just learning new things. But every night I'll be right here. I'll read you stories and braid your hair and be here. I promise." "You promise, promise." "I promise, promise." Ella held up her pinky. "Pinky swear." Melissa linked their pinkies. "Pinky swear." But promises were hard to keep when the world kept throwing punches. 3 days later, Vincent had to ride into Dust Hollow for supplies. He asked Melissa to come. "I don't want to," she said. "I know, but Catherine was right. People need to see you. Need to know you're here by choice." He paused. "I'll be with you the whole time. Nothing bad will happen." "You can't promise that." "No, but I can promise I won't let anything happen to you." So Melissa climbed into the wagon beside Vincent, wearing one of Sarah's better dresses, hair braided neat. Ella stayed home with Marcus. The ride to town took an hour of Melissa's stomach twisting tighter and tighter. Dust Hollow wasn't much. One main street. General store, saloon, church, sheriff's office, and a handful of houses. People stopped and stared when the wagon rolled in. "Ignore them," Vincent said low. "Head up. You've got nothing to be ashamed of." They stopped in front of the general store. Catherine Pierce was sweeping the porch. She looked up, saw them, and smiled. "Well, look who finally decided to show his face," she called. "And he brought the girl. Smart man." Inside the store smelled like coffee and flour and new fabric. Catherine locked the door behind them. "Don't need gossips interrupting," she said. "Melissa, come here. Let me look at you." Melissa stepped forward. Catherine circled her like a hawk circling prey. "You've put on weight. Good. You were too skinny before." She touched Melissa's hands. "Working hands now, not a kept woman's hands." "I've been learning ranching, so I heard. Marcus came through last week, said you're a natural with horses." Catherine looked at Vincent. "You teaching her to shoot yet?" "No." "Why not? Haven't gotten around to it." "Get around to it. Girl living on a ranch needs to know how to protect herself." Catherine went behind the counter. "Now what do you need?" They ordered supplies, flour, sugar, coffee, fabric for new dresses. Catherine wrote it all down, chattering the whole time about town gossip. Who was courting who? Who got drunk and made a fool of himself? Who had a baby on the way? "And everyone's talking about you two, of course," Catherine said bluntly. "Saying Vincent bought himself a wife." Melissa flinched. Vincent's face went hard. "Let them talk." "Oh, I am, but Melissa needs to know what she's up against." Catherine looked at her. "Some folks in this town are decent. Some aren't. The decent ones will give you a chance. The others, well, you can't fix stupid." "I don't care what they think," Melissa said. "Good. That's the right attitude." Catherine packed supplies into crates. "But be careful. James Hartley's been in town twice this week, drinking, talking, saying you were stolen." Vincent's hand went to his gun. "Where is he now?" Don't know, but he's looking for trouble, Vincent, and you got a little girl at home. Don't go doing something stupid. If he comes near my ranch, then you'll deal with it. But don't go looking for a fight." Catherine handed Melissa a small package. "This is for you. Call it a welcome gift." Inside was a knife. Small, sharp, beautiful. The handle was carved wood, smooth and perfect. "Every woman needs a blade," Catherine said. "Even if you never use it, just having it helps you sleep at night. I can't accept this." "You can, and you will. Consider it insurance." Catherine winked. "Now get out of here before the Sunday crowd shows up." They loaded the wagon and headed out. But before they left town, a man stepped into the street. Tall, thin, expensive clothes. Melissa didn't recognize him, but Vincent did. "Morrison," Vincent said coldly. "Not the sheriff. Someone else." The man smiled, all teeth, no warmth. "Vincent Vaughn. Heard you've got a new house guest." "What do you want, Richard?" "Just being neighborly. Heard James Hartley's daughter is staying with you. Wanted to see if the rumors were true." His eyes slid to Melissa. My, even prettier than they said. "Keep moving, Richard." Now, no need to be rude. I'm just making conversation." Richard stepped closer to the wagon. "Tell me, Miss Hartley, are you being treated well, or do you need rescuing?" Melissa's throat was dry. "I'm fine." "Are you?" "Because your father tells a different story. Says Vincent here took you by force. Says you're being held against your will." "My father's a liar." Richard's smile widened. "Strong words about your own kin." "He stopped out being kin the day he tried to sell me." "Sell you, my goodness." Richard looked at Vincent. "Is that what happened? James tried to sell his daughter and you swooped in like a hero." "Something like that." "How noble. How very noble." Richard's eyes went cold. "Of course, people might wonder why a man your age needs a young girl in his house, might wonder what services she provides in exchange for room and board." Vincent moved fast. 1 second he was in the wagon seat. The next he was on the ground, fist connecting with Richard's jaw. Richard went down hard. "Vincent!" Melissa shouted. Vincent grabbed Richard by his fancy collar and hauled him up. "You listen to me very carefully. That girl is under my protection. You speak about her like that again, you even think about her like that again, and I'll put you in the ground." "Understood," Richard spat blood. "You just assaulted me in front of witnesses." "Good. Then they can testify about what you said first." Vincent shoved him away. "Stay away from my ranch. Stay away from Melissa. Stay away from my family." He climbed back into the wagon and snapped the reins. The horse lurched forward. Melissa grabbed the seat to steady herself. They rode in silence for a long time. Vincent's hands were white-knuckled on the reins, his jaw clenched so hard she could see the muscle jumping. "Who was that?" Melissa asked finally. "Richard Morrison, brother to the sheriff. Thinks he's better than everyone because his daddy had money." Vincent took a breath. "He's been after my land for years. Wants to buy it cheap, turn it into some resort for rich folks. I keep telling him no." "You think he'll cause trouble?" "He already is causing trouble, but I can handle Richard Morrison." Vincent looked at her. "I'm sorry you had to see that." "I'm not. I'm glad you hit him." That surprised a laugh out of Vincent. Yeah, he deserved it. Most people would say I lost my temper, that I should have walked away. Most people don't know what it's like to be talked about like property." Melissa's voice went hard. "You defended me. Thank you." They rode home. Ella ran out when she heard the wagon, and Melissa scooped her up, breathing in the smell of her hair, sunshine, and innocence. "Did you have fun in town?" Ella asked. "Not really." "Why not?" "Because town is full of people who ask too many questions." Melissa set her down. "Come on, let's go see what Marcus is teaching the new foal." They spent the rest of the afternoon in the barn. The foal was 3 months old, all legs and curiosity. Ella laughed when it nibbled her fingers. Melissa felt some of the tension drain away. But that night after Ella was asleep, Vincent called Melissa into the study. He was cleaning his gun, methodical, practiced. "We need to talk," he said, about what happens if your father comes back, or if Richard Morrison causes more trouble, or if—" He set down the gun. "If things get dangerous." "I can handle danger." "I know you can, but I want you to be prepared." He picked up a second gun from the desk, smaller, lighter. "This was Sarah's. I want you to have it." Melissa stared at it. "I don't know how to shoot." "I'll teach you. Tomorrow." Vincent met her eyes. "I told Catherine I hadn't gotten around to it. Truth is, I wasn't sure you were ready. But after today, after Richard, I think it's time." "What if I don't want to learn?" "Then you don't, but I'd feel better knowing you could protect yourself if I'm not around." Melissa picked up the gun. It was heavier than she expected. Cold metal, dark wood. A weapon designed for one purpose. "All right," she said. "Teach me." The next morning, Vincent took her to the back pasture, set up targets against a hill, showed her how to load, aim, fire. The first shot nearly knocked her on her back. The noise was deafening. "Again," Vincent said. She fired again, missed the target by a mile. Again, and again, and again. Her arms ached. Her ears rang. But slowly she started to improve. By the time the sun was high, she had hit the target 3 times. "Good," Vincent said. "Real good. You're a natural." "I hate this." "I know, but hate it all you want, you can do it. That's what matters." He took the gun from her. "We'll practice every day until it's second nature, until you don't have to think, just react." "You really think someone's going to come after me?" "I think your father's desperate and Richard Morrison's vengeful, and this world is full of men who take what they want without asking." Vincent's eyes were serious. "I hope I'm wrong, but I'd rather you know how to defend yourself and never need it than need it and not know how." They walked back to the house together. Ella met them at the door. Melissa, come see what I made. A drawing. Crude but sweet. 3 figures holding hands. Tall man, small girl, medium woman. That's us, Ella said proudly. That's our family. Melissa's throat closed. She knelt down and pulled Ella into a hug. It's perfect, sweetheart. Absolutely perfect. Can we keep it forever? Forever and ever. That night, Melissa hung the drawing in her room, stared at it before bed. 3 figures. A family. When had that happened? When had she stopped being a guest and started being something more? She lay down and closed her eyes. For the first time since arriving, she didn't wait for the door to crash open, didn't wait for violence, didn't wait for the dream to end. She just slept, deep and dreamless and safe. But 2 days later, everything changed. Melissa was in the barn with Marcus when they heard shouting. She ran outside, 3 horses at the gate, 3 riders. One of them was her father. James Hartley looked worse than she remembered. Thinner, dirtier, eyes wild with drink and desperation. The two men with him looked even worse, hard men with harder faces. "Melissa!" James shouted. "Get out here!" Vincent appeared from the house, rifle in hand. "Get off my property, James." "Not without my daughter." "She's not your daughter anymore. You lost that right." "She's my blood, my kin. You can't just take her." James's voice cracked. "I want her back." "No, you don't. You want $3,000, and you think you can get it by selling her to someone else." Vincent raised the rifle. "Last chance. Leave." One of the men with James pulled a gun. "We ain't leaving without the girl." Time slowed. Melissa saw Vincent's finger tighten on the trigger, saw Marcus reaching for his own weapon, saw ranch hands running from all directions. "Wait," Melissa stepped forward. "Wait, don't shoot." "Melissa, get back inside," Vincent ordered. "No." She walked toward the gate, toward her father. "You want to talk, fine. We'll talk." "Melissa." "It's okay, Vincent. I need to do this." She stopped 10 feet from the gate. Her father stared at her like she was a ghost. "You look different," he said. "I'm not starving anymore. That's the difference." I never meant." "Yes, you did. You meant every bit of it. Every hit. Every hungry night. Every time you looked at me and saw something to use instead of someone to love." Melissa's voice shook, but she didn't stop. "You tried to sell me. Like I was livestock. Like I was nothing." "I had debts. So did I. A debt to myself, to survive, to get out." She took a breath. "I'm not coming back. Not now. Not ever. You don't own me. You never owned me. I own myself. I'm your father. You were never my father. Fathers protect. Fathers love. You did neither." Melissa's hands clenched. "I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm tired of carrying the hate. It's too heavy. So I'm putting it down. I'm letting it go, and I'm letting you go." James's face twisted. "You ungrateful little—" "Enough." Vincent's voice cut through. "You heard her. She's not coming back. And if you ever set foot on my land again, if you ever come near her again, I'll kill you. That's not a threat. It's a promise." The two men with James shifted nervously. One of them leaned over and whispered something. James's shoulders sagged. "This ain't over," he said weakly. "Yes, it is." Melissa turned her back on him and walked toward the house. Didn't look back. Didn't flinch when she heard the horses ride away. Inside, her legs gave out. She sat hard on the floor, shaken. Vincent was there in seconds, kneeling beside her. "You all right?" "I don't know. I can't." "Breathe. Just breathe." He took her hands. "You did good out there. Real good. Stood up to him. Said what needed saying. I thought he'd shoot. But he didn't. And you're safe. You're here. You're home." Home. The word settled into her chest like a seed taken root. "Yeah," she whispered. "I'm home." Vincent helped her up. Marcus appeared in the doorway. "They're gone, boss. Road south. I'll send some boys to make sure they don't circle back." "Good. And Marcus, arm everyone. If James comes back, I want to be ready." "Yes, sir." Ella came running down the stairs. "What happened? Why was everyone yelling?" "Nothing, baby," Vincent said. "Just some men who got lost. They're gone now." Was it Melissa's mean daddy? Vincent and Melissa exchanged looks. No point lying. "Yes," Melissa said, "but I sent him away. He won't be back." "Good. I don't like him." Ella hugged Melissa's legs. "Don't let him take you." I won't. I promise." That night, nobody slept well. Vincent sat on the porch with his rifle. Marcus and 2 other men took shifts watching the road. Melissa lay in bed staring at the ceiling, Catherine's knife under her pillow, Sarah's gun on the nightstand. Morning came slow and gray. No sign of James, no sign of trouble. But Melissa knew it wasn't over. Men like her father didn't give up. They festered. They plotted. They came back when you least expected it. She just had to be ready. The waiting was worse than the threat itself. 2 weeks crawled by with no sign of James or his men. Vincent kept guards posted. Melissa kept the gun close. Ella sensed the tension and grew quiet again the way she'd been right after her mother died. "When will everything be normal?" she asked one night at dinner. Vincent set down his fork. "What do you mean, sweetheart? When will we stop being scared?" Melissa's chest tightened. She reached across the table and took Ella's hand. "We're not scared. We're just being careful. Papa sleeps on the porch with his gun. You wake up at every sound. Marcus watches the road like something bad is coming." Ella's voice trembled. "That's scared." Vincent sighed. "You're right. We are scared. But being scared doesn't make us weak, Ella. It makes us smart. We're protecting what matters." "I don't like it." "I know, baby. Neither do I." That night, Melissa found Vincent on the porch again. He was smoking second time she'd seen him do it. "You should get some sleep," she said. "Can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see James coming back with more men, or Richard Morrison buying off the sheriff, or—" He stopped. "I see everything going wrong. Nothing's gone wrong yet. Yet." Vincent took a long drag. "I keep thinking I made a mistake, bringing you here, putting a target on all of us." "You didn't make a mistake. Didn't I? Ella's scared. The ranch hands are on edge. The whole town thinks I'm either a hero or a villain depending on who you ask." He looked at her. "Maybe I should have just paid James his money and walked away. Then I'd be dead, or worse." Melissa sat beside him. "You saved my life, Vincent. Whatever happens next, whatever trouble comes, it's worth it. I'm worth it. I know you are. But is she worth the risk?" The question hung in the air like smoke. "What are you asking me?" "I'm asking if you'd leave, if it meant keeping Ella safe. If I asked you to go, would you?" Melissa felt something crack inside her chest. "Is that what you want?" "I don't know what I want anymore." Vincent's voice was rough. "I want you safe. I want Ella safe. I want my ranch to stop feeling like a fortress. I want—" He stopped, shook his head. "I want things I have no right wanting." "Like what?" He looked at her then, really looked at her, and Melissa saw something in his eyes that made her breath catch. "Never mind," he said. "Forget I said anything." But Melissa couldn't forget. She lay awake that night thinking about the way he'd looked at her, the way his voice had gone soft, the way her heart had stuttered in response. She was 18, he was 38. He'd saved her. She owed him everything. This wasn't real. Whatever she was feeling, it wasn't real. It was gratitude, dependence, the desperate attachment of someone who'd never known kindness. It had to be. The next morning, Marcus rode in fast. "Boss, trouble in town." Vincent was saddling Thunder before Marcus finished speaking. "What kind of trouble?" "James Hartley and Richard Morrison, together, at the sheriff's office." Melissa's blood went cold. "Together." Saw them with my own eyes, thick as thieves. Morrison's got his arm around James like they're old friends." Marcus looked at Vincent. "Whatever they're planning, it ain't good." "Stay with Ella," Vincent said to Melissa. "Don't let her out of your sight. I'm coming with you." "No." "Yes. If they're planning something about me, I deserve to be there." "Melissa, I'm not a child, Vincent, and I'm not helpless. You taught me to shoot. You taught me to stand up for myself. So let me stand." Vincent looked at Marcus. Marcus shrugged. "Girls got a point." "Fine, but you stay behind me, and if things go bad, you run. Understand?" "I understand." They rode into Dust Hollow together. The town was quiet, too quiet. People watched from windows as they passed. Melissa felt their eyes like needles. The sheriff's office sat in the center of a town. Vincent dismounted and tied Thunder to the post. Melissa did the same with Smoke. Her hands were steady. Her heart was not. Inside, Sheriff Morrison sat behind his desk. James stood to the left, cleaned up, but still looking like a man on the edge. And Richard Morrison leaned against the wall, smiling like he'd already won. "Vincent Vaughn," the sheriff said. "Glad you could join us." "What's this about?" "This is about justice, about a father's rights." The sheriff gestured to James. "Mr. Hartley here has filed a formal complaint. Says you took his daughter by force. Says she's being held against her will." "That's a lie," Melissa said. "Is it?" Richard pushed off the wall. "Because your father tells a very different story. Says Vincent threatened him. Says he had no choice but to let you go." "My father tried to sell me, so you claim, but there's no proof of that." Richard's smile widened. "What we do have proof of is that you left your father's home and moved into Vincent's house. A young girl, an older man, living under the same roof without marriage or chaperone." "Catherine Pierce knows the truth," Vincent said. "Half the town knows the truth. The town knows what it sees, and what it sees is improper." The sheriff stood. "Now, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, Vaughn, but appearances matter, and this appearance is causing problems. What do you want?" "I want to talk to the girl. Alone. Make sure she's really here by choice." "She already told you that." "That was weeks ago. Things change. People change their minds when they're scared." Vincent's hand moved toward his gun. Richard saw it and laughed. "Go ahead, Vaughn. Draw on a lawman in his own office. See how that works out for you." "It's okay," Melissa said. "I'll talk to him." "Melissa, I said it's okay." She looked at the sheriff. "But Vincent stays in the room. I'm not going anywhere alone with any of you." The sheriff nodded. "Fair enough. Richard James, wait outside." "Now hold on," James started. "I said wait outside." Richard grabbed James's arm and pulled him toward the door. "Come on, let's let the adults talk." When they were gone, the sheriff sat back down. "All right, Miss Hartley, tell me the truth. Are you being held against your will? No? Has Vincent Vaughn hurt you in any way? No. He's been nothing but kind. And you're living in his house, sleeping under his roof? What exactly is your relationship?" Melissa felt her face heat. "He gave me a place to live, a home, that's all." "That's all a man doesn't take in a strange girl out of the goodness of his heart. He wants something." "Then maybe he's different from other men." The sheriff leaned forward. "Listen, girl, I'm trying to help you here. If something wrong is happening, if you're too scared to say it in front of him, you tell me now. I can get you out, find you a safe place. I'm already in a safe place. Are you just used to the cage? Melissa stood up fast. I'm not in a cage. I'm not his property. I'm not anyone's property. I'm a human being making my own choices, and I choose to stay with Vincent and Ella. I choose that life, that home, that family. Family, the sheriff repeated. That's a strong word. It's the right word. Melissa's voice shook but didn't break. My father was supposed to be family. He starved me, beat me, tried to sell me like livestock. Vincent saved me from that, gave me food, clothes, safety, and respect. If you can't see the difference between those two things, then you're blind. I see a girl who's confused, who doesn't understand. I understand perfectly. You're being paid. Melissa looked the sheriff straight in the eye. Richard Morrison is paying you to cause trouble, to find some reason to take me away from Vincent so he can get his hands on that ranch. This has nothing to do with my safety and everything to do with land and money and power. The sheriff's face went red. That's a serious accusation. Then prove me wrong. Silence, heavy and thick. Vincent spoke finally. Are we done here? For now. The sheriff stood. But this isn't over, Vaughn. People are watching. If I get one more complaint, one more hint that something improper is happening, I'll be back. And next time I won't be asking politely. Noted. Vincent opened the door. Come on, Melissa. Outside, Richard and James were waiting. James grabbed Melissa's arm as she passed. You think you're better than me now, living in that big house with your rich man? Let go of me. I'm your father. I deserve respect. Vincent's fist caught James square in the jaw. He went down hard, blood pouring from his nose. Touch her again and I'll kill you, Vincent said calmly. That's not a threat. That's a fact. Richard helped James up. You just assaulted a man in front of the sheriff's office. Good. Maybe someone will finally arrest him for trying to sell his daughter. Vincent mounted thunder. Let's go, Melissa. They rode out fast. Melissa looked back, once saw her father on the ground, Richard helping him up, the sheriff watching from the doorway. That went well, she said. Vincent almost smiled. Could have been worse. How? I could have shot him. They rode in silence for a while. Then Melissa said, The sheriff's right about one thing. This doesn't look good. I don't care how it looks. You should. People are talking. They think we're... She couldn't say it. Let them think what they want. But it's not true. We're not. You haven't... Melissa felt her face burning. You've never even touched me. Vincent was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, That's because if I touch you, Melissa, I won't be able to stop. The words hit like lightning. Melissa's breath caught. What? You heard me? But I'm nobody. You're not nobody. Vincent kept his eyes on the road. You're smart and brave and stronger than you know. You're good with Ella, good with the horses, good with everything you try. And when you smile, when you really smile, not the fake one you use to make others comfortable, it's like the sun coming hot out. Melissa couldn't breathe. Vincent, I know what you're gonna say. I'm too old. You're too young. I saved you, so anything you feel is just gratitude. You don't really want me. You just think you do because I'm the first man who didn't hurt you. That's not, and you'd be right about all of it, which is why I keep my distance, why I sleep on the porch instead of in my room down the hall from yours, why I don't let myself think about what I want because what I want is wrong. Is it, Melissa's voice was barely a whisper, is it really wrong? Vincent finally looked at her. I don't know anymore. They reached the ranch. Ella ran out to meet them, and the moment shattered. Melissa climbed down from smoke, her legs shaking, her mind racing. Vincent wanted her, not as a daughter, not as a ward, as a woman. And God help her, she wanted him too. That night, Melissa couldn't sleep. She paced her room. Catherine's knife in one hand, Sarah's gun within reach. Her mind kept replaying Vincent's words, the way he'd looked at her, the way her heart had responded. This was insane. She was 18. She'd been here 2 months. 2 months wasn't enough time to know what she wanted, to know what was real. But when she closed her eyes, she saw Vincent defending her, teaching her to shoot, standing between her and her father, looking at her like she mattered, like she was worth protecting, worth wanting, worth keeping. A sound outside her door. Footsteps. They stopped. Melissa, Vincent's voice, soft. You awake? She opened the door. He stood there in the darkness, still dressed, looking like he hadn't slept either. Can't sleep? She said. Me neither. He rubbed his face. We need to talk about what I said, on the ride back. Okay. Can I come in? I'll leave the door open. I can't say this in the hallway. Melissa stepped back. Vincent came in and stood by the window, keeping distance between them. I shouldn't have said what I said. It was inappropriate. You're under my protection and I took advantage. You didn't take advantage of anything. Melissa, stop. Just stop. She walked toward him. You want to know the truth? I think about you too. I think about the way you look at me, the way you say my name, the way you stand between me and the world like I'm worth defending. You are worth defending. But am I worth wanting, or am I just another broken thing you're trying not to fix? You're not broken. You're... Vincent stopped, looked at her. You're everything, Melissa. And that's the problem. Because we can't, why not? Because people already think the worst. Because you're young. Because I'm supposed to be protecting you, not... He turned away. Because if I touch you, if I let myself feel what I'm feeling, I won't be able to pretend anymore. Won't be able to keep you at arm's length. And then what? Then the town's right. Then I'm just another man taking what he wants. What if I want it too? You don't know what you want. You've been here 2 months. You're grateful. That's all this is. Don't tell me what I feel. Melissa's voice rose. You don't get to decide that. You taught me to shoot, to ride, to stand up for myself. Well, I'm standing up right now. I'm telling you what I want. And what do you want? You. The word hung in the air between them. Vincent closed his eyes. Say it again, he whispered. I want you. Not because you saved me, not because I'm grateful, but because when I'm with you I feel safe, I feel seen, I feel like I matter. You do matter. Then prove it. Melissa took another step closer. Stop pushing me away. Stop treating me like I'm made of glass. Stop pretending you don't feel this too. Vincent opened his eyes. If I do this, if we do this, everything changes. The town will crucify us. Your father will use it against us. Richard Morrison will have the ammunition he needs. Let them try. Melissa. I spent 18 years letting other people decide my life, where I lived, what I ate, whether I was worth anything. I'm done with that. I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. She reached up and touched his face. Unless you don't want me, unless this really is just pity. Vincent caught her hand, held it against his cheek. It's not pity. God help me, it's not pity. Then what is it? It's love. The words came out rough, raw. I love you. I've loved you since you stood up to your father and told him you were worth more than his debts. Since you got on that horse scared to death but did it anyway. Since you braided Ella's hair and made her smile for the first time in 2 years. I love you and it's killing me. Melissa's eyes filled with tears. Then stop letting it kill you. Vincent pulled her close, slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. She wrapped her arms around him and pressed her face to his chest. He was warm and solid and real. This is wrong, he said into her hair. Then let it be wrong. People will talk. Let them. I'm 20 years older than you. I don't care. Vincent pulled back just enough to look at her. If we do this, I'm going to marry you. I'm not going to hide it. Not going to let anyone think you're something you're not. We do this right. Proper. Do you understand? You want to marry me. I want to marry you. I want to stand in front of the whole damn town and tell them you're mine and I'm yours, and they can all go to hell if they don't like it. His hands cupped her face. But only if that's what you want. Only if you're sure. I'm sure. Say it again. I'm sure, Vincent. I want this. I want you. I want us. He kissed her then, soft, careful, like she was something precious. Melissa had been kissed before, rough grabs in dark corners from her father's friends. This was nothing like that. This was gentle and sweet and everything she'd never known she wanted. When they pulled apart, both were shaken. We'll do this right, Vincent said again. I'll talk to the preacher tomorrow. Get Catherine to help with a dress. We'll get married proper, in front of everyone. What about Ella? Ella will be thrilled. She's been drawing pictures of the three of us as a family for weeks. Vincent smiled, the first real smile Melissa had seen from him in days. We'll tell her in the morning. Together. Okay. Okay. He kissed her forehead. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. He left, closing the door behind him. Melissa sat on the bed, heart racing, mind spinning. She was getting married. To Vincent. In Frioso, in front of the whole town. Her father would lose his mind. Richard Morrison would cause trouble. The gossips would have a field day. Let them. For the first time in her life, Melissa wasn't afraid of what people thought. Wasn't afraid of the future. Wasn't afraid at all. She lay down and closed her eyes, slept deep and dreamless. And when morning came, she woke to sunlight and the sound of Ella laughing downstairs and the smell of coffee and breakfast. She woke to home. Vincent was in the kitchen with Ella when Melissa came down. He looked up and their eyes met. Something passed between them, an understanding, a promise. "Mornin'," he said. "Mornin'." Ella bounced in her chair. "Guess what Papa says? We're having a party." "A party?" "Well, a wedding," Vincent corrected. "I was just about to explain. You're getting married. Ella's eyes went wide. To who? Vincent took a breath. To Melissa, if she'll have me. Ella looked at Melissa, then at her father, then back at Melissa. Really? Really? Melissa said. If that's okay with you. Ella jumped up and threw her arms around Melissa's waist. Yes, yes, yes. That means you're staying forever. That means you're my mama. Not your mama, Melissa said gently. Your mama will always be your mama. But I can be something else, something new. Like what? Like family. Like someone who loves you and takes care of you and will always be here. I like that. Ella hugged her tighter. When's the wedding? Soon, Vincent said. Real soon. Before anyone can cause trouble. And trouble was coming. Melissa could feel it in her bones. But for now, for this moment, they were happy. They were together. They were home. And whatever storm was coming, they'd face it as a family. The storm came faster than expected. Vincent rode into town that morning to talk to the preacher, leaving Marcus and 3 armed men at the ranch. Melissa spent the morning with Ella trying to act normal while her stomach twisted with nerves. What kind of dress will you wear? Ella asked, braiding a doll's hair. I don't know yet. Maybe one of your Mama's wedding dress is in the attic. Papa saved it. Ella looked up. Do you think she'd mind if you wore it? Melissa's throat tightened. I think your mama would want someone to love it again. They were heading upstairs to look when horses thundered into the yard. Too many horses. Melissa grabbed Ella and pulled her back. Marcus, she shouted. He was already running, rifle in hand. Through the window, Melissa counted 6 riders. Her father, Richard Morrison. 3 men she didn't recognize, and Sheriff Morrison badge gleaming in the sun. Stay inside, Marcus ordered. Lock the doors. But before Melissa could move, the front door exploded inward. One of the strangers kicked it clean off its hinges. Marcus raised his rifle, but another man hit him from behind. He went down hard. Melissa shoved Ella toward the stairs. Run, hide, Melissa, now. Ella ran. Melissa reached for the gun she'd left on the kitchen table, but Richard was faster. He grabbed her wrist and twisted. The gun clattered to the floor. Not so tough without your protector, are you? Richard's breath smelled like whiskey and rot. Let go of me. I don't think so. You see, your father and I made a deal. He gets his daughter back. I get Vincent Vaughn's ranch when he comes after you and gets himself killed for it. Melissa's blood went cold. This was a trap. Smart girl. Richard dragged her toward the door. Sheriff Morrison here has agreed to look the other way. Says a father has the right to reclaim his wayward daughter, especially when said daughter is living in sin with a man twice her age. The sheriff stood in the doorway, face impassive. I tried to warn Vaughn. He wouldn't listen. You're letting them kidnap me. I'm enforcing the law. A father's rights supersede a stranger's claim. The sheriff's voice was flat, rehearsed. You'll be returned to your father's custody, where you belong. I don't belong with him. He tried to sell me. Your word against his. Richard shoved her outside. And who's going to believe a girl who ran off with the first rich man who showed her attention? James stood by the horses, looking smaller than Melissa remembered, weaker. He wouldn't meet her eyes. Papa, she said, not a plea, an accusation. Is this really what you want to sell me to him? You're my daughter. You do what I say. I'm not your daughter. I stopped being your daughter the day you put your hands on me. Melissa's voice shook with fury. You're doing this for money. That's all you've ever cared about. Money and whiskey and yourself. Enough talking. One of the strangers grabbed her other arm. Boss said to bring her. Didn't say she had to be conscious. He raised his fist. Melissa braced for the hit. A gunshot cracked through the air. The man screamed and fell, clutching his leg. Everyone spun toward the house. Ella stood on the porch, Sarah's small pistol gripped in both hands, tears streaming down her face. "Don't touch her." Ella's voice was high and terrified but steady. "Don't touch my mama. Ella, no." Melissa twisted in Richard's grip. "Run." But Ella didn't run. She aimed the gun at Richard, hands shaking. "Let her go or I'll shoot you too." Richard laughed. "You don't have the guts, little girl. Try me." For a long moment, nobody moved. 6-year-old Ella with a gun. 3 grown men, bleeding or backing away. The sheriff, frozen in indecision. James, looking like he wanted to disappear into the ground. Then hoofbeats, fast and hard. Vincent appeared over the rise, thunder running full out. He saw the scene and didn't slow down, just drew his gun and fired. The bullet hit Richard's shoulder. He screamed and let go of Melissa. She dropped and rolled, came up running toward Ella. "Get inside," Vincent shouted, but more riders were coming. Catherine Pierce on her old mare riding like she was 20 again. Behind her a dozen townspeople, Pete from the saloon, Mary from the dress shop, old Sam, even the preacher. They formed a line between the house and Richard's men. "That's enough." Catherine's voice rang out like a bell. "This stops now." The sheriff stepped forward. "This is official business, Catherine. Don't interfere." "Official business, is that what we're calling kidnapping now?" Catherine dismounted rifle across her saddle. "Because from where I stand, I see 6 men trying to take a girl against her will. Last I checked, that's called a crime. Her father has rights." "Rights?" Catherine's laugh was sharp as broken glass. "That man hasn't had rights since he tried to sell his daughter like livestock. Every person here knows it. You know it. Hell, even James knows it." James shifted uncomfortably. "I just want my daughter back." "Liar." The word came from Mary, the dress shop woman, a small woman with a voice that carried. "You want Vincent's money. Richard promised you a cut if you helped him get that ranch. Don't pretend this is about family." "Is that true, James?" The preacher stepped forward. "Did you conspire with Richard Morrison to use your daughter as bait? It's not. Answer the question." James looked at Richard. Richard was pale, bleeding, furious. Tell them the truth or I'll make sure you get nothing." "We had a deal," James said finally. "Richard wanted the ranch. Said if I helped him get the girl he'd give me $5,000. Said it was fair since Vaughn stole from me first." The crowd murmured. Angry sounds. Disgusted sounds. "Sheriff." Catherine looked at Morrison. "You hearing this, or are you still planning to look the other way?" The sheriff's face was gray. There must be some misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding is thinking you could get away with this." Vincent dismounted, gun still drawn. "You took money from Richard. Probably a lot of it. Agreed to help him steal my land by taking the one thing I care about." "You can't prove that." "I don't have to. Half the town just heard James confess to conspiracy." Vincent walked toward Melissa, keeping his gun trained on Richard. "And everyone here knows you've been in Richard's pocket for years. You think they're going to believe you now?" The sheriff looked at the crowd, saw the hard faces, the crossed arms, the judgment. "This isn't over," he said weakly. "Yes, it is. Catherine raised her rifle. "You three have a choice. You can ride out of here now, get on your horses and never come back. Or we can tie you up and wait for the territorial marshal to arrive. Your call." Richard clutched his bleeding shoulder. "You shot me, and I'll shoot you again if you don't leave. I'm old, but my aim's still good." Catherine's eyes were ice. "Clock's ticking, Richard." The men looked at each other, looked at the crowd, looked at Vincent standing between them and Melissa with murder in his eyes. They chose to leave. Richard mounted his horse one-handed, cursing the whole time. His men followed. The sheriff hesitated, then climbed onto his horse as well. "This is wrong," Morrison said. The law is whatever we say it is," Catherine interrupted. "And we say you're corrupt, you're fired, and if you show your face in Dust Hollow again, you'll regret it. Now get." They rode away. James stood alone in the yard looking lost. "Papa," Melissa said quietly, "you should go too." "Melissa, I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did. You meant all of it." She walked closer. Ella stayed on the porch, gun still in her small hands. "You chose money over me. Again. You always will. So go. Take your deal with Richard. Take whatever scraps he'll give you and go. I don't want to see you again. You're my daughter. No, I was your daughter. Now I'm just someone you used to know." Melissa's voice didn't waver. "Goodbye, James." He opened his mouth, closed it, looked at the crowd, at Vincent, at the rifles and hard faces. Then he shuffled to his horse and rode away. Didn't look back, didn't say another word. The crowd watched until he disappeared. Then Catherine turned to Melissa. "You all right, child?" "I think so." Melissa looked at Ella. "Ella, baby, put the gun down." Ella lowered it slowly. Vincent ran to her, scooped her up, held her tight. "Don't ever do that again," he said into her hair. "Don't ever put yourself in danger like that." But they were going to take Melissa. They were going to hurt her. Ella was crying now, great heaving sobs. "I couldn't let them take her. I couldn't. I know, sweetheart, I know." Vincent carried her inside Melissa, following close. The crowd dispersed slowly. Catherine stayed helping Marcus to his feet. He had a nasty bump on his head, but was otherwise fine. "That was close," Marcus said. "Too close." Catherine looked at the broken door. "They'll be back, you know. Richard Morrison doesn't give up that easy." "Let him try." Vincent sat Ella down on the couch. She clung to him like she was drowning. "He comes back, I'll kill him. Simple as that. Can't kill a man in cold blood, Vincent." "Then it won't be cold blood. It'll be self-defense." Vincent's eyes were hard. "I'm done playing nice, Catherine. Done pretending the law will protect us. Done waiting for them to make the next move. What are you going to do?" "I'm going to marry Melissa. Today. Right now. In front of everyone." Vincent looked at the preacher who'd followed them inside. "Can you do it? Can you marry us?" The preacher hesitated. "Vincent, are you sure, given everything that just happened?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life." Vincent took Melissa's hand. "Melissa Ann Hartley, will you marry me right here, right now, with half the town as witness? Will you stand with me and Ella and face whatever comes next as my wife?" Melissa looked at him, at Ella, at Catherine and Marcus and the townspeople crowding into the house, at the broken door and the blood on the porch and the future waiting with sharp teeth. "Yes," she said, Yes, I'll marry you. Then let's do it. Vincent turned to Catherine. There's a dress in the attic. Sarah's wedding dress. Can you? I'll get her ready. Catherine grabbed Melissa's hand. Come on, child. Let's make you a bride. 30 minutes later, Melissa stood in Sarah's wedding dress. It fit almost perfectly, just a little long, a little loose in the waist. Catherine had pinned up her hair and given her a small bouquet of wildflowers from the field. You look beautiful, Catherine said. I look terrified. That's what makes you beautiful. Real beauty shows up scared and does it anyway. Catherine adjusted the dress. Sarah would have loved you, you know. Would have been proud to see you wearing her dress. I hope so. I know so. Catherine kissed her forehead. Now, let's go make an honest woman out of you. They walked downstairs together. The living room was packed with people. Ranch hands, townspeople, strangers who'd heard the commotion and stayed for the show. Ella sat in the front, cleaned up and calm now, holding a bouquet of her own. And Vincent stood by the fireplace in his best suit, looking at Melissa like she was the only person in the world. The preacher cleared his throat. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Skip to the important parts, Vincent said. We don't have time for speeches. The preacher blinked, then nodded. Do you, Vincent Vaughn, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward for better or worse, for richer or poorer in sickness and in health until death do you part? I do. And do you, Melissa Ann Hartley, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband to have and to hold from this day forward for better or worse, for richer or poorer in sickness and in health until death do you part? Melissa looked at Vincent, at the gray in his hair and the lines around his eyes and the strength in his hands, at the man who'd saved her, protected her, loved her when she didn't know how to love herself. I do. Then, by the power vested in me, by the territory of Arizona, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Vincent, you may kiss your bride. He did, slow and gentle and full of promise. The crowd erupted in cheers. Ella jumped up and hugged them both. You're married. You're really married. That means we're a real family now. We were always a real family, Melissa said. But yes, sweetheart, now it's official. They celebrated that night. Catherine brought apple pie. The ranch hands brought whiskey. The townspeople brought food and music and laughter. Someone played a fiddle. Someone else sang. Melissa danced with Vincent under the stars while Ella clapped and laughed and stayed up way past bedtime. And for a few hours they forgot about Richard Morrison, forgot about James Hartley, forgot about threats and danger and everything that could go wrong. They were just a family, celebrating, living. But the next morning reality came back hard. Marcus found a note nailed to the gate. 6 words in Richard's handwriting, "This isn't over, not by half." Vincent read it and tore it to pieces. Let him come. Boss, maybe we should... No running, no hiding. This is our land, our home. We stay and we fight. What if he brings the law? Real law this time. Then we tell them the truth. Show them the witnesses. Show them that James confessed to conspiracy in front of half the town. Vincent crumpled the paper. Richard Morrison can threaten all he wants, but I'm not giving up my family, not for him, not for anyone. Word spread fast that Vincent and Melissa were married. Some people smiled and wished them well, others whispered and judged, but nobody could deny it was legal now, official, proper. 2 weeks passed. No sign of Richard. No sign of James. Just quiet days and quieter nights. Melissa learned to be a wife, to cook Vincent's favorite meals, to mend his clothes, to lie beside him at night and listen to his breathing and know she was safe. She learned to be a mother, too. Not Ella's real mother, never that, but something close. Someone to braid hair and wipe tears and read stories. Someone to love a little girl who'd lost too much. And slowly, carefully, she learned to be herself, to speak her mind, to make choices, to exist without fear. One afternoon she was in the barn with Smoke when Catherine rode up. "Got news?" Catherine called. "Good news for once." "What kind of news?" "Richard Morrison left town, took his money and his pride and rode east. Word is his brother the sheriff got removed from office. Territorial marshal came through, heard about the corruption, cleaned house." Catherine grinned. "Looks like your wedding had consequences." "Where did Richard go?" "Don't know. Don't care. As long as he's gone, that's enough." Melissa felt something loosen in her chest. "And my father?" "Haven't seen him either. But I heard he took a job working for some rancher up north, probably working off another debt." Catherine dismounted. "Point is, you're safe now, really safe. The threats are gone. For now. Forever if you're lucky. And girl, you've earned some luck." That night, Melissa told Vincent what Catherine had said. He listened, then pulled her close. "I want to believe it's over," he said. "But I've learned not to trust good news. So what do? We keep living, keep building, keep being a family." Vincent kissed her forehead. "And if trouble comes back, we face it together, like we faced everything else." "Together," Melissa repeated. "I like that word. So do I." Months passed. Summer turned to fall. The ranch thrived. Ella grew taller, braver, happier. Melissa's bruises faded to nothing. Her nightmares came less often, and one cool October morning she woke up sick. Not sick, just queasy, off. Catherine took one look at her and laughed. Well, looks like there's going to be another Vaughn running around soon." "What? No, I can't be. Can't you?" Catherine raised an eyebrow. "When's the last time you had your monthly?" Melissa thought back. Realized with a start that it had been 8 weeks, maybe 9. "Oh, God. That's one way to put it." Catherine patted her shoulder. "Congratulations, girl. You're going to be a mother." Telling Vincent was terrifying. Melissa waited until after dinner, until Ella was in bed, until they were alone on the porch under the stars. "I have something to tell you," she said. "Sounds serious." "It is. She took a breath. "I'm pregnant." Vincent went very still. "Pregnant. Yes." "You're sure?" "Catherine's sure. And I think I've known for a while. I was just scared to say it." "Scared of what?" "Scared you wouldn't want it. Scared it's too soon. Scared I'll be a terrible mother." Melissa's voice broke. "Scared of everything." Vincent pulled her into his arms. "You're going to be an amazing mother. And it's not too soon. And I want this. God, Melissa, I want this so much." "Really? Really?" He kissed her. "A baby. Our baby. Ella's going to lose her mind." They told Ella the next morning. Her scream of joy probably woke half the county. "I'm going to be a big sister, a real big sister." She danced around the kitchen. "Can it be a girl? I want a sister. Or a brother? I don't care. I just want a baby." "Well, you're getting one," Vincent said, laughing. "In about 6 months. 6 months, that's forever. It'll go faster than you think, sweetheart." And it did. Winter came. The baby grew. Melissa's belly swelled. The ranch prepared for new life. Catherine came by twice a week to check on her. "You're doing fine. Better than fine. That baby's healthy and strong, just like its mama." "I don't feel strong." "You are, though. You survived things that would have killed most people. You fought for your freedom, found your family, made a home." Catherine squeezed her hand. "Strong isn't feeling fearless, girl. Strong is being terrified and doing it anyway." In March, the pain started. Vincent sent for Catherine and the midwife. Held Melissa's hand through every contraction, whispered that she could do this, that she was strong, that he loved her. And at dawn, as the sun painted the sky pink and gold, Melissa gave birth to a baby boy. He had Vincent's dark eyes and Melissa's stubborn chin. He came into the world screaming and didn't stop until Melissa held him close. "He's perfect," Vincent said, tears streaming down his face. "Absolutely perfect." "What should we name him?" Melissa asked. Vincent thought for a moment. "Samuel, after my father, Samuel Vaughn." "Samuel," Melissa repeated. "I love it." Ella burst into the room seconds later, eyes wide. "Is that him? Is that my brother?" "That's him." Vincent lifted her up so she could see. "This is Samuel, your baby brother." Ella reached out one careful finger and touched his tiny hand. Samuel's fingers curled around hers instinctively. "Hi, Samuel," Ella whispered. "I'm your big sister. I'm going to protect you forever and ever, just like Papa protected Melissa, just like Melissa protected me. That's what families do." Melissa looked at Vincent, at Ella, at the baby in her arms, at the life they'd built from nothing but determination and love. "Yes," she said, "that's exactly what families do." Years later, when Samuel was old enough to ask questions, Melissa told him the story about the shack and the debt and the day his father rode in and changed everything, about choosing to leave, about learning to be brave, about finding home. "Were you scared?" Samuel asked. "Terrified." "But you did it anyway." "I did it anyway, because sometimes the scariest thing is also the right thing." Melissa hugged him close. "And because your father taught me that true love begins where ownership ends. That family isn't about blood or debts or what people think. It's about choosing each other every single day." Samuel thought about this. "I'm glad you chose us." "Me too, baby. Me too." And on the porch, Vincent sat with Ella, 15, now beautiful and fierce, and watched the sun set over land they'd fought to keep, over a home they'd built with their own hands, over a life that had started with violence and fear but had blossomed into something worth protecting. "Do you ever regret it?" Ella asked. "Taking Melissa in that day? Not for a second. Even with all the trouble, especially because of the trouble. The trouble proved what we were made of." Vincent put his arm around his daughter. "Easy lives make soft people, Ella. Hard lives make the kind of people who change the world." "Is that what we did, change the world? We changed our world, and that's enough." Inside, Melissa rocked Samuel to sleep, singing softly. Through the window, she could see Vincent and Ella on the porch, could see the ranch spreading out in all directions, could see the life they'd made. No one was beyond rebuilding. No one was beyond redemption. And kindness, real kindness, could turn even a transaction into a home. She'd been bought once, sold like property, treated like nothing, but Vincent had looked at her and seen a person, a human being, someone worth saving, worth protecting, worth loving. And in choosing to stay and choosing him and choosing this family, Melissa had finally learned the most important lesson of all. True love begins where ownership ends and freedom starts, the moment you realize you're worth fighting for.